Hi guys, I'm Michelle from Full Motion Bodyworks, and I am here to bring you a full body stretch in 15 minutes or less. Because if you're like me, you have way too much going on to spend a whole bunch of time stretching, but stretching is still essential. So before we get started, really quickly, it's always good to have some props on hand. I don't always use them, but depending on how tight you are, I will show you how to modify, so if you need them. I have a yoga strap, but you can always use a belt or a scarf, works really well. It's just a bit of a tool. And I have a bolster here, but you can also stack some pillows, use a folded blanket. You've got lots of options there. And then I have a couple of yoga blocks. They're not essential, but they're nice to have. You can also use a foam roller. So just stuff to have. I might use it, might not. We'll see how we do. So go ahead and start in a seated position, and we're gonna warm up the neck to begin with. So let's check our time, make sure that we've got 15 minutes or less. You're gonna tuck your chin towards your chest and roll your ear towards your shoulder. Let it come back, and as you come back, be careful not to drop your head into extension. Be really mindful of how far back you let it go, and we'll just repeat that. Because your neck is really neurological, so if you've had especially a whiplash or a concussion, sometimes that dropping back of the head will make your brain think that it's unsafe, and it will actually tighten up your neck muscles. So be very mindful and gentle. We'll switch directions, so just circle the other way. And that goes with any neck work. You want to be really gentle with it because your neck is so neurological. Nice and gentle. We'll do one more circle. Good, and bring yourself right back up to the center. So you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna go on top of your collarbone, and you're just gonna drop your elbows down, so it's kind of pinning your collarbone down. And I want you to think of your chin like a rainbow. So you're going to fly your chin gently up to the ceiling and then make little rainbow arcs going side to side, nice and slow. So we're opening up the front of the neck. And what happens here is, because so many of us spend our time in forward flexion, these muscles get shortened. So we just want to lengthen them out. Give them a little bit of rest. So nice and easy side to side rainbow arcs. We'll do one more. If we had more time, I'd stay here probably longer. And we'll come back to the center, let your head float back down. So next, you're going to take your chin and point it down towards your armpit. So we're kind of getting into this area here, the lateral neck, the side of the neck. And if this is comfortable for you, you're going to take your other arm and just rest it on top of your head and just kind of rock gently side to side. So pointing that nose towards the armpit like you're sniffing your armpit. Getting a nice stretch through here. If your neck is really tight and it's too intense, take the arm off. Good, and then you're just gonna tilt your head so that your nose is pointing forward, but your ear is still going towards the opposite shoulder, I guess same shoulder. And you're going to, if you can, take this hand, stick it underneath you, and just pull away from that arm. So it'll get into your traps a little bit here. And again, if this is too intense, it feels like that's a lot, take this arm out or take this arm out. You want to be gentle when it comes to the neck. So ear to the shoulder. And just create some space there. We'll do one more deep breath here. Good, take your hands out, and we're just gonna go to the other side. So nose to the armpit first. If that feels okay, add this arm on top. And now you're not pulling, you're just using that arm for a little bit of extra weight, extra resistance, and then you can rock side to side. Because your neck is so neurological, sometimes rocking will help calm the nervous system down and allow you to get a little bit better of a stretch. Good, and then you're just going to tilt your head so your nose is pointing out, ear to the shoulder, getting right in through here. Again, this arm is optional. If you're really locked up in your neck, you might not need any other resistance. You want to go gentle. And you're gonna take, again, if you want this arm, stick it back behind you and just lean away to get into those upper traps. If you hear some nice relaxing music that's like very faint, it's just coming from my 5-month-old in his swing. I can really hear it. I don't know if you guys can. He's in another room, so it's pretty loud. Good, and we'll go one more time. Deep breath here. Good, take your arms out, come back to the center. And we're gonna warm up the hips next. So you're gonna take your legs out. Your feet will be about shoulder width apart, but everyone's different depending on how your hips are. If you need to go wider, you sure can. If you wanna go more narrow because it's painful for your hips, do what feels good for you. There's no right or wrong way. And you're just gonna drop both knees to one side and then the other side. So just going back and forth, doing these little windshield wipers to thin out some synovial fluid. Get the hip joints more nice and warmed up before we kind of get into stretching the hips. If you feel pinchy in the front of the hip, you can always bring your feet out further, closer together, whatever works for you. You want it to be comfortable. So we'll do a couple more here. Getting the hips moving. Good, then we're gonna work our way down to the floor. So on our way down, we're gonna get into the T-spine. You can stay where you're at. I'm just moving so you guys can get kind of a better angle. You're gonna take your hands, hook them underneath your knees, and we're gonna do a seated cat-cow. So you're just going to round your upper back, tuck your chin into your chest, lean back, take a nice deep breath. And when you exhale, you're gonna push through the pelvis, open the chest, pull your shoulder blades together, look up slightly, and then repeat. So deep breath in, lean back, tuck the chin, round the upper back, lean back. Exhale, push through the pelvis, pull the shoulder blades together, open up. We're gonna do one more each way. So round that upper back, lean back, deep breath, push through the pelvis as you exhale to open up. Good, and then you're just going to lean back and let yourself roll down to the floor. I'm gonna move my bolster here. Give yourself a little squeeze, rock side to side, let your pelvis reset. You guys can stay where you're at. I'm just going to flip around so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing with my legs here. So squeeze, rock side to side. You're gonna drop both feet down to the floor, keep your knees bent. You're gonna bring one leg up and over so you've got a nice little figure 4 going here. So now if you want to grab a strap, you can. It's not necessary, but if you're a little bit tighter, you're just gonna wrap that strap around that bottom leg and you're gonna use that strap to pull your figure 4 up to your shoulder, okay? I'm gonna go without it. So you're just going to, if you're not using the strap, you're going to lift your figure 4 up to the ceiling and then float it in towards your chest. You can use your hand on the top of this ankle to kind of hold it steady. And then you're gonna rock side to side, gently. Nice and gentle, side to side. So we're getting into your glutes here, the outer part of your hip. If you're pinchy in the front of the hip, just adjust this foot up or down until you kind of feel that pinch go away, or you can back off on the resistance. So we'll just do maybe one more rock side to side here. And now you're gonna tip your figure 4 over, so you're gonna bring this foot down to the floor, trying to keep this opposite shoulder down on the ground, getting into that thoracolumbar tissue. It's a nice juicy little stretch. Take a nice deep breath here. I would kind of go further into it if we had more time, but we're just doing a quick full body stretch for every day, so we'll leave it here. And then you're going to tip that figure 4 back up. Bring your foot back down on the ground. So you're going to cross this top leg all the way over the bottom leg this time. And whatever foot is on the floor, you're going to walk that foot out and around towards the same armpit in a semicircle. So your feet are out towards the same armpit. Whatever foot's on the floor, same armpit. So we're getting into kind of your QL side body on the opposite side. And to deepen the stretch, you're just going to take this arm, reach it up and over your head, so you're kind of in a half moon shape. So your hand and your feet are going the same direction. You're really stretching out the side body. Think about trying to pull your rib cage and your hip bones as far away from each other as possible. Take a nice deep breath there. Good, and then you're just gonna walk your feet and your hands back to the center. Uncross the legs, lift up, give yourself a squeeze, and then we're switching sides. So feet go down to the floor, knees are bent. The other leg comes up and over, so you've got that nice figure four. If you need your strap, wrap it around that bottom leg. Otherwise, you're reaching your figure four up to the ceiling, float it in towards your chest, and then just rock it gently side to side. Again, adjust that top leg if you need to, if you're getting pinchy anywhere. Side to side, side to side. We'll do one more side to side here, and then you're just gonna drop your figure four over, bring that foot down to the floor, keeping the opposite shoulder down. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Deep breath. We'll do one more. You might notice one side is tighter than the other. That's okay, it's totally normal. Good, then you're gonna bring your figure four back up to the center, bring your feet down. Sorry, you're gonna cross that top leg all the way over the other leg, and then you're gonna walk your feet opposite direction this time. Bottom foot goes towards the same armpit. So you're getting a nice side body stretch on the other side. And bring that opposite arm up and over the head, so you're kind of in a bit of a half moon shape. So your feet and your hand are going in the same direction. Opening up that other side. Take nice deep breaths. Think about really breathing into that area to open up between the rib cage and the pelvis. Good, then go ahead and walk your feet and hands back to the center, uncross, squeeze, and you're gonna roll onto one side. So again, you guys stay where you're at. I'm moving so you can see me better. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a yoga block. You don't need a block. If you just have something to put under your head, it's a little more comfortable. If you don't, you can rest your head on the floor. It's just not quite as comfy. Your neck's a little bit cranked. So you're gonna stack your knees, your legs on top of each other. Bring your arms out from the body. You're gonna take your top hand and just drag your fingertips really slowly, making a big circle around your head, over the ear. You're gonna open up as you come back. So you're trying, if you can, to keep your fingertips as close to the ground or on the ground as you can. But don't force them down. If they don't go there, they don't go there, and that's okay. So this is one that if I had a lot of time, I would spend way more time here, but for the sake of a quick full body stretch, I'm just doing 2 circles each side. So we'll do one more circle here, and then we'll switch to the other arm. I would also probably go a little bit slower if I had more time, but that's all right. We're doing what we can. Ooh, nice chest stretch as you come across and over. Good, and you guys can just flip on over. I'm just gonna switch sides so you don't have to stare at my backside. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Legs are stacked, arms straight out from each other, and you're just gonna drag those fingertips along the floor, nice and slow, over your head, over the ear, back behind you. This will help open up the shoulder joint, the chest, a little bit of T-spine rotation in there. You kind of get the best of everything upper body. Come around. Nice and slow. Again, if I had more time, I'd probably spend more time doing that. But for the sake of time, we're gonna move on. So you can move that block out of the way. You're going to come onto your knees. We're gonna do a quick little down dog, but this is not yoga, so I am not really concerned about the technical form on your down dog. You're just gonna push up, and I want you to push out of your shoulders. So instead of sagging here, just actively push out, and then let your hips Go up to the sky, bring your heels down towards the floor, and you're just gonna kind of pedal it out here. So 1, 2, and again, if I had more time, I'd spend a lot of time on the calves. They are tight for almost everyone, but we're just gonna kind of keep moving along. So we'll do a couple more pedals here. To get more into the Achilles, we're gonna bend both knees and then just shift back again. And then kind of straighten out. One more pedal. Then come on down to your knees. If you're on a hard floor like I am, you might wanna double up your mat. I think I'll be okay. If you're on the carpet or a softer floor, you'll be fine. So last, we're gonna get into the hip flexors. You're gonna step one leg forward. You're gonna kind of tuck your tailbone under, so think about pulling your rib cage and hips down towards each other. And then you're just going to shift forward. So you should feel kind of a good pull in here. You might feel it more here. Some nice deep breaths. And whatever leg is down, you're gonna take that arm and bring it up towards the ceiling, and then just tilt over your body. So tilting over the head. So this hip kind of pops out that way. Nice deep breath there. And then you're gonna walk this front foot out at an angle, lunge into it there, take a deep breath, come back to the center, walk it so it's straight out from your body, and then sit back in your hips and take a nice deep breath there, getting into those long adductors here. And then switch out those legs. So step the other leg forward, tuck the tailbone. So think about rib cage and pelvis coming together, lean forward. If you're having a hard time and you're really unstable, try and think about pushing your knees together, this knee and this knee, to kind of engage your adductors to help you stabilize. Whatever leg's down, that arm's going up. And then over your head, nice deep breath here. Good. Walk that front foot out at about a 45-degree angle and just lunge into it there, getting the short adductors on this leg. Come back in, walk it all the way out to get these long adductors. Sit your hips back. Take a nice deep breath here. Good. And come back to the center, and you're ready to go for the day. So full body stretch in 15-ish minutes. Yeah, just about 15 minutes, maybe a minute or two over. So that hits kind of the high points, all your major muscle groups. If you had more time, there are a lot of places I'd spend more time, but when you're crunched for time, this is your video. Thanks, and I hope you check out all of my other videos on my YouTube channel.